So, how to draw your cabinets. First step is you want to write your the name of the street you're on. You want to write today's date. We're going to use a 1/2 inch equals 12 inches in reality when you're actually at the house. So 1/2 inch equals, it's a 1/2 inch to 12-inch scale. And then we're going to write what side of the area on. We're going to start with the kitchen. Do the kitchen sink area first. If it's on the wall, this is a pretty simple set of plans. When you're at the house, you're simply going to take you're just going to quickly draw the shape of the kitchen. Take note of where the window is. You're going to measure it out. So we measured from wall to wall, because this is just a blank wall right now with studs on it. And you should have already done your sheetrock if you're on this. Sheetrock only takes about 30 minutes to do. This takes about 2 hours to do, but sheetrock goes first. So a couple things you're going to want to write down in your sketch is from your rough draft. This is a picture of like a final draft here. You're going to want to write the length of your wall, how high off the window the ground is, how tall the window is, how far from here to there the window is. You see, it's right there, 46.5 inches actual. From this side, it's 28 inches actual. And so this is always going to be 18 inches tall. It's where like the backsplash area. So you can assume that when I'm drawing this, I'm going to draw the bottom line down here to scale to exact dimensions. And then this one right here has a 9-foot ceiling. So 9 feet, if you're using a 1/2 inch scale, that's going to be a 4.5 inch. If it's 10 foot, it would be 5 inches tall right here. No, it'd be 5 inches tall. And if it's 8 foot, how many would it be? 8 divided by 0.5, that's 4 inches. So that's how you get your ceiling height. Next, I'm gonna go up, and I'm gonna go up here. It's gonna be 1.5 inches on your ruler, 1.5 inches. You see this right here? It's going to be right at 1.5 inches. And that is where your cabinets are gonna be. These are gonna be, and then this is gonna go up another 18 inches from that. And that's going to put you right at 3/4 inch if you're using this. And then our uppers, standard, we typically do a 36-inch upper. That's one of our options for our customer. So our sales guy should have already checked that, and you should have rechecked it by this point. And so a couple things that we could start with. So now that we've got our walls in, and on your drawing, your walls and your ceiling. Next, you've drawn in this. Second, you've drawn in that line. And then third, you've drawn in that. Okay, now we can start putting our puzzle pieces together. We know that the corners, so we always want to write corner on our corners, because when you do that other side, you kind of have like a blank spot. But we write corner there. We know our upper corners are going to be 24 inches wide. We know that. That's a given. So we're going to go ahead and get that in. We're going to get our window in. And so when you're drawing this, you draw that corner in, you draw your window in. Really, I draw the window first before anything, and then the corner. And then we're going to start putting our puzzle pieces in. So the dishwasher, it's already on there. We know it's going to be 24 inches wide. Drop your dishwasher in. We know our base corner. We know the base corner is actually going to be 36 inches wide. And that goes, this and this are the same corner. So I'll write it over it so it's more clear. But our base corner, so we've got our corners in, we've got our window, we've got our dishwasher. We got the givens, we got the easy stuff in. All right, now we're gonna work on our sink. We wanna get the sink either like center on the window as we can. If there's not a window, just wherever the plumbing's at, wherever the plans say, if the customer hasn't already changed it. Because by the time you're doing this, we've already framed up the house, and we're about to do insulation. So we use a 36-inch sink every time. So your numbers, we got a 24-inch corner, upper corner at a diagonal, and then we have a 36-inch corner for our base. Our dishwasher's 24 inches. Our farm style sink is 36 inches. So now we can simply use our actual calculation and see how much room we got here. I happen to know it's 12 inches. And so if you're getting tight on budget, we want to use a bunch of doors. If you got room in your budget, you can put more drawers in there. They cost, it's about $100 extra per cabinet. Like, so that's a cabinet, and that's a cabinet, and that's a cabinet. So it's about $100 extra per drawer, depending on how big or small the drawer is. There's a lot more that goes into the building of a drawer. Our base cabinets are always going to be 24 inches deep, and our upper cabinets are always going to be 12 inches deep. So they're not as deep. So that's really all you do for that. We've got our kitchen sink here. Now, this instance, the actual size is 28 inches. They don't sell, that I'm aware of, an actual 28 inch. So we had to buy a 27 inch. And over here, we needed to go with a 21 inch and a 24 inch. That's how we get the minimal offset. Once again, if budget is getting tight, you want to go with the biggest cabinets you can get, because it's cheaper when you buy a 36 inch versus two 18 inch cabinets. And this is the width of them. Okay, so I started on the kitchen sink on this side. You can too. And then when it comes to our stove, like where our stove is at. So you can see here, because this kitchen is a U shape, we're gonna drop in our corners again for each side. So I want the corners in first, and then we figure out where the stove is gonna go. The stove, it's gonna be 30 inches or 36 inches. We wanna figure out, after we put these in, right about where the center is. And to determine where the center is, honestly, you should really know that by now, but you're going to take we got 21, there's a 3-inch filler piece here, because we weren't, the framing and the units that cabinets are sold in aren't the same. So we had 148 inches. I subtracted out 36 inches from that side and 36 inches from that side. So that's 72 minus 148. And then, anyway, I centered it. That's what I did. And then I quickly did the math, figured out we weren't perfectly center with it. So we drop a 24 inch on this side and a 21 inch on that side. And once again, if our budget's good, we're gonna do like the triple drawer here. We're gonna run drawers down here. If our budget's tight, we're just gonna do regular doors. End of story. Okay, now we're gonna move up here. We're gonna drop our corners in for our uppers. And then we already know we can drop our 30 inch. If this is, whatever this size is the size this is. Now these are 36 inch cabinets, and we need 1 foot clearance right here if it's going to be just a regular vent. If it's a microwave, we're basically just going to get a 12 inch bridge cabinet over the top of that. But since this is just going to be a vent, we have the ducting already set up. We're going to put about a 6-inch vent right there, and that's going to make it to where it just looks just perfect. So, and then we will also need to buy some extra material to build out around this, so our vent, that silver ducting, is covered. So keep that in mind. And now we want to make sure our door is open, so we towards the stove. So we put our circle here and there. So I did 18 and 18 here, and I did 21 right there, because that corner, that's a total of 24 inches. So yeah, that's a 12-inch piece, and then you got your doors there. So that's how I did that. Okay, now we're moving on to the last corner. This one happens to have the fridge on it. If we're able to, a lot of times we will put a cabinet over the fridge. In this case, we've got a pocket door behind it, so we can't get, the pocket door framing doesn't quite support a bunch of plates and heavy stuff screwed in the wall. So we're not having one on this particular case, but you're gonna draw on your fridge. You should already know the dimensions of your fridge. Typically, your fridge is gonna be about 69 inches tall, and your width could be anything. I mean, it could be 24, 30, 36, 48, it could be anything. So you gotta look that up. You gotta figure out what your particular customer wants. Then you're gonna drop your corners in. You know, I wrote diagonal corner on there. That means the corner has just one door to it, and it's at an angle in between. And then on our bottom corner, you know, it's the same. So we write these in, And make sure we're only counting our quarters once, because you will see them on 2 walls. So that corner right there, you know, it shows up here. So make sure we only order the number of corners that we have. Okay, right here, we just dropped it to 36 inch in. The doors on a 36 inch will open up in the middle, and then the drawers, that line indicates a drawer. So not just a whole lot to this. Next thing you're gonna be checking is your island. This one doesn't have one. And then you're gonna check your master bathroom, and then you're gonna check your other bathrooms. Maybe your laundry room if that's appropriate. But this is just a quick example of how to do it. This all took me about 2 hours. So if it's your first time doing it, you know, 3 hours. And it needs to be done before, like, you should have already estimated your sheetrock, but you should know this before the sheetrock guys even show up at the job. So there you have it.